Ever feel like your hamstrings aren't getting the attention they deserve during your workouts? Today we're going to show you a game-changing variation of the Romanian deadlift to help get the most out of your hamstrings for your workouts. The Toe Elevated Romanian deadlift can be a great way to both improve the flexibility and activation of our hamstrings, leading to both improvements in strength and overall quality of that movement. If we're having difficulty kind of finding that hinge, focusing on getting the hips and butt back into that extension, our knees are bending a little bit too much, the wedges can be a great way to just reinforce that the hips need to kind of lead that movement. What's great about the individual wedges that we can place it wherever we need to for the position of where we would comfortably deadlift from. Now the feet have to focus on grabbing on that forefoot there and the heel. Then we're still able to get into that full hinge. So it's going to be harder to kind of bend with the knees, and even if we see from the side here, if I start to kind of bend the knees more, I'll start to kind of shift forward. So if I start off with a hinge and I start to kind of bend my knees, I start to kind of sway forward, and I'm holding a kettlebell that's already going to want to carry me forward and down. So if I'm losing that contact with my heels, this is going to be so much more exaggerated. I'll be like, oh shoot, okay, I gotta reset. I'm pushing my hips back behind me towards the bricks here. Elevating your toes increases ankle dorsiflexion. You're shifting your center of mass slightly backward. This adjustment encourages a stronger hip hinge, reducing knee flexion and forcing your hamstrings to absorb more of the load. That stronger hip hinge will have your hamstrings having to work that much harder, ensuring better recruitment of the muscle fibers and increased tension throughout the whole range of the movement. The wedges also prevent your low back from rounding, keeping your spine neutral and protective against injuries. Place a pair of wedges or pair of small plates on the floor. Stand with your feet in your traditional hip width apart stance, whatever is your regular deadlift stance, positioning your toes on the elevated surface, heels on the ground. Hold the dumbbells, kettlebells, hold the external weight with an overhand grip, arms fully extended. Maintain a soft bend in the knees, hinge at the hips, pushing them backward while keeping the back straight. Lowering the weight slowly until you feel a deep stretch in the hamstrings. Pause briefly at the bottom. Engage your hamstrings and glutes. Push off the floor with the feet. Return to a position standing. If your toe is elevated, your weight shifts backward, increasing the reliance on the hamstrings and glutes. This adjustment is going to limit knee flexion, ensuring that your hamstrings remain under constant tension throughout the movements. Hamstrings are biarticular, meaning they cross both the hip and the knee joint. Elevating the toes lengthens them further at the hip, creating a greater stretch reflex and amplifying that passive tension. That passive tension is going to create stronger contractions, leading to improved hamstring growth and strength. What did I do before? 40s, 45s? Oh, so I still gotta go 45s now, or what? This guy. A bit of both. Chex is a good cereal though, but I still eat cereal, so I feel that. It's just straight affinity for cereal now. It's just all we're capturing. Mistakes to avoid: grounding your back. Keep the spine neutral. Lowering the weight too quickly. Lower the weight slowly with control to maximize that tension. Locking out the knees. Keep that soft bend in the knees. This will allow the hips to travel further back into extension. I would like to work this in as like an accessory hinge, an accessory deadlift focus. So maybe you've done barbell hip thrusts, maybe you've done some kind of RDL with kettlebells, maybe you've done swings. to kind of throw this in to focus on that time under tension. So it just re-exaggerates that lowering part of that face. You may not have to have it under tempo. You can have it under tempo for more of a challenge. You know, I look at it as from like an accessory or supplemental hinge-based movement on top of what you're already doing for your training is where I would kind of throw it in. More of a strength focus, you can go for 4 to 5 sets of 5 to 8 reps. More of a hypertrophy focus, you could follow the same 4 to 5 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Endurance focus, we'll drop the sets down to 3 to 4, working a range of 12 to 15 repetitions at a lighter load. The Toe Elevated RDL is one of the best ways to maximize hamstring activation, flexibility, and strength. Throw it into your next lower body session and let us know what you think. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, let us know what you'd like to see next in the comment section below. If you try out the Toe Elevated RDL, let us know what your experience is like as well. Thanks for watching.